first, live, local. This is Fox 12 Now.
Everyone, welcome to Fox 12 Now. Just pulling up that live shot, taking a look over Portland. Yes, it's a little bit cloudy, but it is still nice out there, at least for today. So I'm going to be getting out to enjoy that later on today. But thank you to all of you for being here right now. This is Fox 12 Now. We're live streaming here every weekday, starting at 1 p.m. and going throughout the afternoon. We cover a wide range of topics. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, we're on our website, and we're on our apps. So lots of places to find the show and join the conversations. Right now, we're going to be talking about the WINGS Conference, which is an Oregon Climate Technology Conference coming up very soon. And we're going to discuss what all that means, what's involved in that, and what the goals are. And to do so, joining us right now, we have Elaine Shea from Technology Association of Oregon, and we've got Topher Burns from Climate Curious. Both of you joining us. Thank you very much for being here. Appreciate it, and I'm excited to talk about this. You know, I love talking about technology anyway, and I know this encompasses even more than that. I think, Elaine, you know, if we could start off, would you mind just giving us a little bit of the history of what this conference is and maybe why it got started there at the beginning?
Sure, and thanks, Greg, for chatting with us today. We're really excited about this conference tomorrow. It's completely sold out with a growing wait list. And really, this is the inaugural year for the WINGS Conference, but it is not the first time that TAO and Climate Curious have partnered. Last year, I had the wonderful opportunity to work with Jordan and Topher here to put together our very first clean tech symposium. We were really scrappy. We weren't really sure what the appetite was. And so we put it out there and were pleasantly surprised when we had over 100 attendees. Thought it was a pretty good first go considering we had a short on-ramp. And then this year we worked as best as we could with our partners within the community, within industry, within TAO's membership, and with Climate Curious's membership to find the best and brightest. Diversity was a big component. We wanted to make sure that we weren't leaving any marginalized communities out. But really, we feel like Portland has the opportunity to really play well in this environment and in this space. Portlanders generally are already very green, very conscious about their footprint, and we have some really great tech companies and tech startups. And so we really wanted to bring this full scale, include as many community partners as possible, and really start to put Portland back on the map, bring some energy back to downtown, feel good about the entrepreneurs that we're supporting, feel really good about the things that the city is doing, bring public, private, industry all together and talk about best practices and what's going on in this space.
So it sounds, I mean, as you mentioned, that's a lot of people coming together, and it sounds like a pretty wide net to cover a lot of different viewpoints and a lot of different companies and leaders in this industry. But when we're talking about that, you know, when it comes to the climate side of things, so can you explain a little bit about what the conference, I guess the goal is, and what people will be discussing there?
Sure. The conference is really an intersection between climate and technology. When we came together as a steering committee, what we really wanted to do is build community, inspire, and educate. And not just educate professionals, but educate, because it's cascading, right? It's climate and technology affect everyone. And so we want to make sure that we're bringing everyone to the conversation so that we can educate and inspire them to do the right things, to make the right choices, to know what resources are available to them. So that was really the intention, was to help connect people.
And Topher, I'd love to hear some more too about Climate Curious, and tell us a little bit about your organization and then how you fit into this as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So at Climate Curious, we talk about ourselves as convening community to help accelerate Oregon's leadership in the climate innovation space. And so I really love the question that you just asked, Greg, because it's something that really matters to us when we think about the WINGS conference. At Climate Curious, we say every job needs to become a climate job. And what we mean by that is the scale of the problem and the unity that we need to achieve of everybody working towards the same goal means that over the next 5 to 10 years, we need to discover all the different ways that all of our jobs get integrated into climate goals, whether that means you stay in your same position as a doctor or a lawyer, and you figure out ways that you can benefit and work within positive steps towards assessing climate change in your existing role, or whether that means you're somebody who is curious about getting involved in climate and working as an electrician on a solar farm, or being somebody who helps do needs assessments for large global organizations. It really spans the gamut, but it's something that everybody needs to have a role in.
And so this is going to help, I guess, foster that thought about that as far as how all those roles could change and how that development happens in order to accomplish that?
Exactly. So the Wings Conference is actually named after Oregon's state motto, "She flies with her own wings." And the reason why we chose that is because if we as a group, and when I say we, I definitely mean, as Elaine was saying, all the different organizations that came together to help plan the Wings Conference. When we got together, we were really inspired by the concept of facing something that seems like an insurmountable challenge. The scale, the height that we need to ascend together in order to overcome climate change and to develop a better, not just state, but planet. We can use this motto as an invitation and as inspiration within this conference to bring a wide range of people together across a wide range of disciplines. Think about how technology can be brought together that is baked here in Oregon, and we can use those unique skills that we have to help contribute towards part of the solution.
And looking at that, as far as contributing to a solution, you mentioned it's planet-wide, but focusing here on the Oregon companies, what do you think it is about the companies, the people, the leaders that you're bringing together here from Oregon that makes it such a great opportunity for them to contribute to these goals that you have?
There's such a wide range, and so I'd like to list a few of them, and then I'd also love to kick it back to Elaine as well, because this is something that we've been able to geek on over the past year that we've been planning this event. Some of the things that we're really excited about are when you think about the climate industry, you immediately think of solar and you think of wind, and those are areas that Portland has strong stories to talk about. But there are a lot of other areas that we have really innovative companies and also a very deep and rich history in industries that we can bring to bear. So we are a city on the water and connected to ships and commerce. And so there's an enormous amount of really interesting conversation that's going to go around what it means to be connected to a river and how we trade on it. We're a city that has history in steel and in manufacturing, and the built environment and finding ways to be more responsible and thoughtful about how we create the built environment and change it. That's something that Oregon has a really credible voice in. So those are two areas that I'm excited about, but we're going to cover a lot more. I don't know, Elaine, you had others you wanted to give a shout out to as well.
We're going to cover a lot. We'll have 10 main stage speakers, we'll have 10 dive sessions, and we'll have 10 TEDx style showcase speakers. And so there's kind of something for everyone: entrepreneurs, industry, public sector, private sector. We really wanted to make sure that this conference allowed everybody to see themselves, to see a future in clean tech sustainability, clean technology, and if they don't see themselves, find a way to get themselves into that space.
It really seems to me that connectivity seems to be a very big theme for this, of bringing these different industry leaders together and people together. Is that correct?
Yes. As we all know, Portland's going through many changes, much like other large cities. And so that was a big piece of it, was we feel like a lot of industries and groups are kind of siloed. And so this is an opportunity to bring everyone together and at least unite on one thing, right? On our future and future jobs, the future livelihood of our city, and the future for our next generations. And what does the city and our earth look like and feel like?
Something that we're really excited about is, in general, the potential for public and private partnerships to be part of what it is that we bring. I think a lot of times in the climate conversation, connection is something that's relatively new, because we began by identifying all the systemic issues that are problems with big business. And those are true. then we started, there became a new wave of what are the individual choices that we're making? And those are also true, but those are still just pieces of the puzzle, what our government can do. That's been a part of a political conversation and fortunately becoming more of that conversation. But all of those need to be brought together. So when we talk about public-private partnerships, it's how can government and private enterprise work together in conjunction with community groups to start just advancing as many solutions as possible. When it comes to climate solutions, it's a yes and. We need to do everything that we're talking about and more. And so we don't have the time to sort of sit around and debate about which is the right way to go. Like, let's just say yes to all of those things and let's see where we get to.
And so that may have just answered the question that I'm going to ask, but bringing everybody together here for the conference, and you're going to have all of the different speakers. At the end of the day, what's one thing that you would like everybody to take away from it?
Something that we've talked a lot about is that this is a large problem, and the challenge with a large problem is that if you focus on the enormity of it, psychologically, that actually means you shut down. If you engage people and you say, well, there's 1,000 things that need to get done, the likelihood of somebody doing one thing is very small. And that's not their fault. That's because when you're faced with like, what can I as a person do? You just get depressed and then you start watching TikTok and if you're me, you open up a box of Cheez-Its. So what we want people to do is like, say yes to the Cheez-Its. We're not taking those away from you, but we want you to attend this conference and leave with one thing that you're going to do differently in engaging in this space of climate and technology. And that doesn't have to be, I'm going to ride my bike to work all the time. It could be volunteering with one of the organizations that you're going to see. It could be donating to one of the causes who will be there. It could be joining one of the groups who will be a part of it. It could be looking for a job with one of the companies that's there. We have an enormous showroom with a wide range of different local solutions and companies that are going to be represented. They're going to be recruiting. So the goal is one thing, and if everybody leaves with that one thing, we know we're a step closer to the city that we want to be.
And when we talk about the general public who may not be attending this, I believe, Elaine, you said that it's sold out. I think is what you were saying.
It is.
Yeah, which is incredible.
Yes.
It's a great thing when you're putting on a conference, and for as long as you work on that, I get that. So congratulations. But for everybody who's not attending, what is something that they can take away from this, or is there a way for them to understand, what's shared here, and maybe what does come out of it?
We are, one of the elements is videos, right? We'll have lots of recordings of the talks that have happened that we'll be able to share out. We're also hoping that this community lives on, right? Through Climate Curious, who does monthly meetups, there's an opportunity to engage with those people that are like-minded. In addition to that, TAO and our other partners will also start to foster some of those communities through events, through updates, and we hope to convene not just annually, but maybe find the opportunity to meet more often as a larger group. As well as, I think the in-person connections, we're hoping that people are going to take this opportunity to not just meet and chat here on site, but to continue those conversations off site. And I think that the excitement and the energy will just find its way within new communities and existing communities. What do you think, Topher?
Oh yeah, go for it.
I'd add on, a lot of this stuff is going to be videos that we're sharing on LinkedIn. I would definitely also say, for those who are just interested in learning a little bit more about this, Climate Curious is designed to make that as easy as possible. So if you just go to climatecurious.co and click join our list, you'll be getting information not just about the events that we host on a monthly basis, and we do everything from hike-in chats to bingo nights and trivia nights, through to more serious conferences and thought leadership. But we also share other events that are going on in the community. So we try and aggregate and sort of like rising tide lifts all boats. So it would be a great way for people to understand a wide range of the different types of conversations that are happening in this space. And I'd say, this is not the only way in which TAO engages in this issue either. So beyond the idea of wings, we love attending other TAO events that have similar types of slices of views into how climate and Oregon's tech industry intersect.
Well, thank you both very much for joining here today to talk about this and share this side of it. I mean, it sounds like a really exciting event, and what can come of this, it affects everybody. So this is great to have those conversations, connecting people like you're doing. And, thank you to both of you, Elaine and Topher, for joining me here today.
Pleasure to
Thanks for the opportunity, Greg.
Absolutely. And for everybody watching too, again, thank you for being a part of Fox 12 Now. We're going to be carrying on here at 1:30. I'm going to be joined by the mayor of Salem, Oregon, to talk about the Salem airport. They just received $850,000 in funding to help improve that airport. They've got commercial flights coming out of there. We're going to talk about what kind of an economic impact that has on the region and more. So that's coming up at 1:30. So whatever platform you are on, you can join me right back here. I do recommend downloading the apps. That's a nice, easy way to watch all the segments we have. So if you want to share this segment that we just had, talking about the Oregon Climate Tech Conference, the WINGS Conference, then that is a great way to do that as well. But thank you for joining us. We'll reset. I'll talk to you in about 10 minutes or so if you're watching live. I'm Greg Nibbler. This is Fox 12 Now.